Welcome to Distracted Driving, ladies and gentlemen. What?
I'm sorry.
Did I what?
I had a thought, but that's fine.
Go ahead. I've been slacking?
It was rude.
I got the guest tonight.
It was rude. You did. Yes.
You guys have only been on vacation for like 3 weeks now.
I know. I will pull this car over. No, I won't.
I like how we just started the show with an argument. Yeah. So that was...
Yeah. Distracted Driving. We're back from... What was the last show? It was the 80s?
The Tradesman.
The Tradesman show.
Yes.
Oh, that was fantastic. Hey, Jay,
Pure
there's
gold.
some pictures to your left.
I see that.
Grab those. Grab the one underneath. The night of the Tradesman party, you took some pictures. And this is what one of those people. That's the picture of the bartenders.
That is the picture
and
of
the
the
staff over there. That's awesome. That's a great picture.
It is a great picture. I love the black and white.
I'm about to... we'll be delivering that to the Tradesman after the show.
Oh, nice.
And then this one is
Hey, look at the dog with the cone on his head. I love that. Anyway, sorry.
Greater Milford music scene. Greater Milford local music scene. We did that shot a few months back, and we're going to try to get that up in every bar. Rob bought one.
That was great, too.
Yeah, you were there.
I was just moral support.
Moral support.
You were the audience.
A little oral support for everyone.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I do my best.
I don't know if I should do my introduction now or live with our guest.
Why don't we do both ways and we can always edit?
Okay. Because there's a lot to talk about with him. He's actually... I had never seen Lew before until The Walking Dead. And then I went to IMDb and realized, oh, I have seen Lew before.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's been in a ton of stuff.
We're talking about Lew Temple, who played Axel on the third season, half of the third season of The Walking Dead. And I'll tell you what, and we were talking about this before. I don't know if it's if we're not going to put this on the show, but Gary Summers, who Jay and I know, collectible guy, pop culture guy. He's got a show coming up in Boston, the Pop Culture Show, radio show called Calling All Collectors. He's on Antiques Roadshow. He's the pop culture music guy. Great guy. Anyway, he knows everybody. He knows every B-lister out there, knows a lot of musicians. And he was talking to you one day. I called the next, told him we were doing this. And he said, well, the only thing is Jay has to get a table at the pop culture show. So I said, yes, Jay will do that if you could get us Lew Temple.
And then I told him no.
Oh, no. But I had his email already, so we were good to go. So we got connected.
I didn't either. Maybe that's why he stopped back in again, because he's like, so I can write you down? I really had no clue, Ray.
Sorry, Gary. I used you. I did. And I used Jay. All right, I'm a user.
Everyone does.
I'm gonna go if that matters, and I'll probably spend some money.
Oh, I want to go too. So
right,
yeah, it's but it is a holiday weekend. What is it, Jay?
Memorial Day
weekend.
Yeah.
But I do want to go. And will you
Looks
go
like
as a guest? Jay, maybe
sure.
that's a car ride.
No,
maybe that's a distracted driving episode.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can go inside and say, "Hey, Mike Nesmith." I don't know if he's going to be there, but why don't you come?
Nesmith
I don't know.
is not showing up.
He's not going to be.
You picked
Who
the
is going to
wrong
be there?
monkey.
Someone's going to be there though.
Peter Tork might
Peter
show
Tork
up,
might
but
show up.
He's not going to be the. Actually,
no, I know he's not. I can't remember the list.
I believe one of the bigger names he's got going on there is Ernie Hudson.
Yes,
Ernie Hudson's going to be there.
Yes.
Oh, you know who else is the Sam? Is it Sam Worthington? Is that his name? The blonde kid
From Being Human.
from Being Human.
I
like
a bunch
him.
of other, but
I like
that's,
him a
that's
lot.
the newest. Oh no, he's great.
He's going to be there. A couple of people from Games of Thrones. It's Game of Thrones or Games of Thrones. Is
There's
it
a
one
whole
throne
bunch of games.
or is it multiple thrones?
There's multiple games.
Multiple games. Games of Thrones.
It's like
But
Hide
that's
the
not right
Throne.
either.
I play Hide the Throne.
Hide the Throne is a fun game. Have
That's
you
a
ever played the other
great
game
game.
where you substitute a salami?
No.
Hide the salami.
Anyway, who's our guest tonight? Because we should probably call him.
We should.
I play sit on the throne, but
Lew
With
Temple.
the salami.
Lew Temple is our guest, and I don't know if he knows what he's getting into. So,
I don't know.
Welcome to Distracted Driving, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic, guys. How y'all? Are you out? What type of vehicle are you in?
We are in a fine Toyota Tacoma. Cruising around.
It gives you a little bit of room and a lot of protection in the event that somebody hits you. Not that you would hit anybody. I would say, are you in the Boston area?
We are right outside Boston in central Massachusetts.
No offense, but some of the worst drivers I have encountered. So, you know,
in our defense, though.
You're doing a radio show on distracted driving in one of the. I mean, you might as well be in Beirut or Mexico or something.
You have a point. We can't argue with that. So the good news is we collectively all can't drive well. So it works out if we stay in our own area.
Yeah.
My experience, I used to go spend my summers in Southie. And my experiences were always, if you get hit, you didn't really look for an insurance settlement, you just move and hit someone else. Just, you know.
Yeah.
So let me, while we're passing this police officer, let me introduce you, Lew Temple, who was in season 3 of Walking Dead, and really a huge character as far as I'm concerned. And I think I'm speaking for the other guys too. One of the coolest and most unexpected kills of the whole series. There's been a few, and I think you were one of them. Lew has been an actor for a while, coming from baseball, by the way. It was the Astros and the Mariners, correct? The minor league?
That's right.
That's very
absolutely.
cool. So when you were done with that, you went to acting, and you were in movies like the Halloween reboot. You were also in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning, Devil's Rejects, a lot of horror movies, and then movies like Unstoppable and The Lone Ranger. I mean, you've been all over the place, Lew. I think what we want to start with, though, is The Walking Dead, one of our favorite TV shows. We talk about it all the time. Talk about your experience on set working with The Walking Dead.
Well, it's hard to put into words sometimes because there are so many elements to it, and there's so many delightful moments. First of all, make no mistake, it's a hard day's work because we've got 10 days to make magic that we seem to do every week, and the approach is let's do better this week than we did last week, not unlike the Boston Red Sox. So when you're world champion, you want to stay there. So everyone busts their hump from week to week. It's a real family set. There's no hierarchy. There's no divas. There's no pecking order. I mean, it is a team unit, and everybody has a place, and everyone's contribution is really appreciated. So that just makes the day good. You feel good about what you're doing. It's hot in Georgia. For those of you who've been in Georgia or in the South, where I'm from, it's hot, it's humid, and so it's a lot of work. But all that being said, it's amazing. And sometimes the types of days that we have, and at the end of the day, we just sit back and say, wow, we really accomplished that. It's a great feeling. I think that it starts with Andrew Lincoln, Rick Grimes.
Yep.
And he carries the ball. He really does. And he sets the standard. And everyone supports that. So it's an amazing experience. I had been around a long time prior to joining The Walking Dead. And even as much experience as I had, I was taken aback with how they approach their day and the work, including the writers, the producers, the camera department, hair, makeup, all the departments, post, editing, music. Everybody is just really above board in the work ethic and the type of product they're trying to build. So it was an amazing experience.
There's so much emotion with all of the actors on that show, and I gotta figure that life kind of imitates art. Am I right to say that? We're on set. Rick is such
absolutely. It's Andrew. He never allows himself to feel comfortable in the day's work. So just about the time he's okay, or everyone else is okay with what we just did, he's going to push the envelope a little bit farther. And he's a wonderful, natural, talented actor, and yet he works so hard. I'm like, my gosh, dude, you're killing it, and you're still, trying to get better. And so that's great. It's fantastic. I find Norman Reedus to be incredibly interesting. Of course, he's a heartthrob, and all the ladies like him, and the men want to be him. But honestly, I learned a lot on set from him. He's who I call Johnny Appleseed, because he is out sprinkling seeds, trying to take root for storyline. And he does it very subtly, and all of a sudden the writer will say, hey, did you notice he just picked up a crossbow? We could have this guy with a crossbow. Or, look, he just went over that motorcycle. He could be a motorcycle. I mean, he does this constantly, and they don't always take root, but he really informed the writers on his story, which is which is fantastic. It's a great way to build your character and your arc.
I just found out that Norman wasn't in the comic book. They wrote him in after he auditioned for Merle. Is that right?
Yes. Well, actually, yes. Originally I went in for Merle as well.
Oh, wow.
And thankfully they had hired Michael Rooker, and then we all went in. I guess those who didn't get Merle that they liked. I also went in for Merle's brother, who at the time didn't have a name, nor did he have any text. There were no sides. They just gave us Merle's lines again and said, "Hey, would you just read these differently?" So thankfully they hired Norman, and then finally when it got around to Axel, they go, "Oh, we know a guy who'd be good. This Temple guy might fit the role here." So that was it was so fun and so rewarding to do Axel, and though I thought he had a lot more to give to the group and the show, I'm really proud with what we accomplished while we were there.
You never know. You never know who's going to die though on that show. Anybody could go at any time.
It's always the case. No one's building swimming pools in their houses down there. It's a kind of a prickly pear. You don't.
How close?
And usually, typically get scripts 3 weeks in advance. I was notified 3 weeks in advance that Axel was going to meet his end, and it was a time in the season of season 3, having kind of set up the prison as a bit of a sanctuary. The production just felt we got to pull the carpet out from underneath the audience, and the first thing you do, not just myself, but anybody that's in that situation, you do this, what I call the denial dance, and you try to come up with reasons that you shouldn't do this, or alternatives. Like, for instance, I offered, well, this Allen guy just showed up, and he seems like kind of a jerk. Let's get rid of him. And they're like, well, all in good time. He'll get his, but he's not as established as you are, and we want to make this hurt. So at the end of the day, when you're done with getting over trying to make a case for yourself, you recognize you've got a job to do, and you want it to be a great job. And for me, I wanted it to honor Axel, the character, and I wanted it to be great, as good as I could do, and as good as the production could do. So, yes, we wanted it to be a gut punch. We wanted it to be a surprise, nobody seeing it coming, and for it to be it's just a shock, which I really feel like we were able to pull that off.
Well, it's an honor too, as well, to be told your character is so well liked at this point, and so well established. We got to get rid of you to shock the audience. That says a lot about you, your acting, and the writing and the character as well.
Well, thanks very much. Yeah, that was at some point you have to sort of commit to it and say, yeah, we're gonna do well by this. So, on the day, I'd known 3 weeks, and guys, this was not something that was locked in. There was a lot of dissension amongst the staff about whether we're going to do this. Andrew Lincoln himself was against it and went to the production, flew to Los Angeles to kind of argue on my behalf.
Really?
And so, so I was told 3 weeks in advance, this is going to happen. Don't tell the rest of the cast, because we might go with someone else. And then I was kind of made privy as to who someone else's were. So by the time it was me, and those people were coming to me in sorrow and sympathy, oh man, I'm so sorry you're going to be leaving us, I just would think to myself, oh my God, dude, you have no idea how close it was to being you. If you only knew it was going to be you 2 days ago, you wouldn't be crying for me right now. But yeah, it's an interesting prospect when people go, and it becomes, it's twofold. You really recognize, as I mentioned, that it's a family unit, and you're losing a family member. There is that. But also there's an element, like a team, you're losing a good player. You're losing someone that really helps the team, and that can take its toll. So it takes a real good unit to overcome occasionally losing people like Shane and Lori and T-Dog and and particularly all of them, everybody.
But Shane's attitude, I had enough of that. I was ready for him to go.
I rewatched the episode today, Lou. I rewatched the episode home. I rewatched the episode today, and I got a question. What are your thoughts on, you're standing there, you're talking to Carol in this incredible scene, and it's such a moment right before then, and then obviously what happens. And then
there's a show changer at that point, I think.
I gasped. I know there was a physical reaction to what happened. But then watching it for the second, third, fourth time, which I've watched it over and over again. I watched it again recently about a couple hours ago, and I noticed one bullet took you out. And then they fire probably 10,000 rounds after that, and the only person who continues to get hit is you.
Exactly.
But nobody else gets hit. They miss everybody.
I was like a human sandbag.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I offered that. I go, how come, I know that I'm down, but how come every bullet hits Axel laying there?
That's it.
And we wanted to put Carol in jeopardy. I'm like, oh my God, you're putting the worms in the dirt in jeopardy.
Lou, I love how Carol, you have this connection with her, and really, you think at that moment, and I remember thinking this was, oh, this is a couple in the works right here, and then bam, you get shot. Carol doesn't think twice about grabbing you and using you as a shield.
You're a shield.
No, one of the presentations to me from production was the idea that, we're going to kind of make Carol she's kind of the Black Widow maker. Every dude that's around her kind of goes down.
We found that out recently, yeah.
So I guess I was part of that, that lineup. My main point was, there's, up to that point, and really even still, there's not a lot of peace in The Walking Dead. There's not a lot of moments where, unless you're drinking moonshine, you get to just take a breath and things are okay for a minute. And I really wanted that before all hell broke loose. So I will say that the production was great. Glenn Massar, who was the showrunner at the time, invited me to the writer's room to help build that episode, and I said, nah, they do great. But what I do want is the shock. And for me, one of the shocks, not that I was around, but I'd always heard about it and seen the Zapruder tapes of Kennedy getting shot in the head.
Oh, yeah.
And how it affected the world. I felt like, well, that's the type of effect. It's so terminal. It's so absolute. A shot in the head, and it just takes your breath away. So I wanted that.
You got it.
And then. And we hadn't decided it was going to knock me off my feet. And finally, on the day when we were doing it, I just suggested, how about if I'm not just dead in my tracks and I fall on her and she has to deal with this death right there and right in the moment. And then, of course, she does deal with it using as a shield. But more than anything, I wanted the beginning of those scenes not be the end of the scene. So I wanted it to be a happy day kind of sad and just a moment of peace and hope and then Gum Governor, dead eye. And let's not forget, he had one eye. Yeah. I mean, my God.
That's true.
I actually had a question about, I was checking out your IMDb page, and I noticed that you were actually on Walker, Texas Ranger.
I saw that too.
Yay!
Now, I noticed that over 6 years, you played 4 different characters on the show.
Yeah, that was great about that show. It was great about that time. I think it would be specific to the state of Texas and their film world. It also for CBS at the time with Chuck Norris. They had no qualms about bringing you back and putting a wig on you. And like, hey, we really liked what you did last time. Don't do that this time, but come up with something new. I mean, it was like theater, And it was great because of course, every time I was involved, I was a ne'er-do-well. And then my last episode, and I think I actually did 6. My last episode, it was the last season of the show.
Yep.
Chuck Norris actually had to investigate my death, and I was killed by Frank Stallone.
Wow.
Even better.
Sly's brother. He was a mafioso guy that was coming in to move into the local Texas drug ring, and which I was part of, and he assassinates me, and then Chuck Walker has to investigate that and find out, how did this drug guy get killed? We got some problems. The mafia's moving in. I better roundhouse this out of here. and so he did. That show was great. There's so many people. I just got back last night from Mexico. I've been on a film down in old Mexico with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's a lovely actor.
Oh, he's
and
from
we were talking about. Yeah, and we were just, he had done a walker. He goes, did you get roundhouse? I go, about 10 times. And we all have the same story. It was never Chuck Norris.
I'm halfway through the Netflix series, and now I'm going to stop. It's not Chuck Norris. No round kicks. Unbelievable. Hey, Lew, do you prefer, you've been in a lot of multi-genre type movies. Do you prefer horror? Because you've done a lot of it.
I had never done any horror prior to meeting my now dear friend Rob Zombie, and I didn't have a sense of that genre at all prior to being cast in The Devil's Rejects.
Scary movie, by the way.
Very much
disturbing.
There's a tone to a horror film. There's a tone to the genre that's very it's very independent and organic, and there's something that happens, and you can build stuff and play on emotions that are and are not there, and you can almost go through the whole gamut of life in a horror movie. So I do appreciate that. Do I only appreciate that? Not so much. I like keeping it moving. You'll look at my body of work and see it's fairly diverse. Although I will say I've not done many romantic comedies. Unless you want to call Trailer Park Repair a romantic comedy.
Fantastic movie, by the way, one of my favorites.
I love the DVD extras when we're all sitting in the trailer park complaining about the government and the price of gas as zombies. But no, I like to work all over the place. I will say this: at this point, I'm looking for smarter genre pictures. So I can't, I can't just throw into, something that's just horror.
Yeah, you don't want to be bitching, obviously.
No, I don't want to just go out and mule and horror pictures that are, just getting made to...
Though we do like your best in horror, just so you know.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. And, I've had... It's so... Somebody mentioned to me the other day that I die a lot, and...
We ask a question of all our guests, Lew.
Lew, so we always we ask everybody, what distracts you?
We had one guest say peanut butter, so nothing you say can be any weirder than that.
I'm often distracted by human violence.
Oh.
So that actually distracts me, and that can be in the form of a car accident. That can be in the form of a MFA fight. That can be a fight on a playground. Just human violent interaction, not with guns.
Yeah.
Not just mano a mano. Always kind of gets me anxious. A lot of anxiety with that. That distracts me, and I guess short shorts to scratch me out here in California.
Sure.
If you were doing this show right now in Los Angeles, you would be you would run about 3 red lights by now.
I was out there last week. Yeah, definitely would have a problem. So.
Yeah, and you know, that's just the red blood American in me, and that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. So that can be a little distracting. I'll say this too. There's one other thing. I read a lot of scripts, and believe it or not, I never thought I'd be this guy. But spelling and grammar kind of get on my nerves.
Oh, me too.
You know, yeah, I'm not going to say that I'm the most literate, but it's a simple. I think that's going away. I think with all our texting, we're just
we're lazy. We're lazy.
It's a bygone thing.
Yep.
Hey Lou, this was actually fantastic. Thank you very much. And a couple things. The Abigail Breslin movie once again is, what was the name of that again?
It's Wicked. It's Wicked Blood.
All right, Wicked Blood.
It's Wicked Cool. It's out there now.
It's on Netflix
for you,
now. If you
Netflix now. I have a movie coming out May 1st called Night Moves, named after the Bob Seger song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And it's ecological terrorism movie that stars Dakota Fanning, Jesse Eisenberg, and Peter Sarsgaard. It's really great.
Great cast.
And so, yeah, it's fantastic. I'm really excited about that as well.
If you go to imdb.com and search Lew Temple, it's Lew. Well, it's on the screen now, but you'll find that Lew is a very busy man. You have so many things that are in production and coming up. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you in a lot of different things.
They're all exciting. I'm always, I try to keep the work really vital and exciting. And the last couple of years, I've had the good fortune to do so. And yeah, check me out if you get a chance. And I'm on Twitter at Lew Temple Actor, and the Facebook Lew Temple's a fan page. But they always get me they kind of get me the information, or you might know someone that knows me, and I'm pretty good about returning a call.
Okay. And I know you said you wanted to get something with a little bit more meat and a little bit more emotion, so you're welcome to play any of our characters.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'll send you the script.
Who's driving? I want to be the driver.
Tim's driving.
I'm the driver. My name's Tim. I'm the driver, so I'm in control of our fate here somehow.
That's a character you can get behind.
Yeah. Well, do you have a mustache?
I have a full beard right now, but for you, I draw out the mustache and get it a little bit deeper for you.
All right. Well, I'm on board now.
All right.
If you got facial hair, I must ask you a question, but I'll shave it for later.
There you go.
Lew Temple, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much,
Thank
Lew.
you so much.
Lew.
Take care.
Thanks so much, guys.
We'll
really
talk to you
enjoyed
soon.
it.
All right.
Y'all have a great day.
You
Very
too.
good.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome. What a guy.
What a great guy.
That was great.
That was more than I thought, as a matter of fact.
No, he was fantastic.
Which is great. I mean, he's so
You could listen to him talk all day.
Really?
I would have kept talking. I just don't want to. I don't want to take up too much of his time.
No.
But I would have actually kept talking to him.
I think it'd be great. We got to try to make a date to go down there and.
Well, yeah. One thing I want to mention is there was a cut in the show, and we talked a lot about Terracon down in Rhode Island that Jay's going to be at.
Yep.
Rhode Island Terracon at the Rhode Island Convention Center. Jay's going to have a table there for
Rubber Chicken
Comics. Yes. And big ass donuts, or big old donuts.
Big old donuts.
Right next door, which is cool.
Yep.
But Lew is going to be there, and he's going to be signing autographs as well as a whole slew of people. And so go on down 7th and 8th of June and go see Jay, and we'll be down there. Maybe we should have a section of Jay's table where we sign autographs.
If nothing else, we'll have a time that we're all actually down there together.
Yeah.
So you guys can hang out at the table, and so people can come down and actually see us and talk to
And
us.
now,
I want to go get a picture with Lew.
I was going to say, we absolutely need a picture with Lew. And don't forget, everybody, Happy Easter!
Yeah!
Easter is coming up next week, and that's yours, Jay.
Thank you so much.
I only brought 2. So
these are actually
I
my
hope
favorite.
you don't like these.
I'm driving.